And certainly a man who knows how to put the bumper in, and a man that really does bring home true Formula One stock car racing. Harry Smith from Colne in Lancashire, number 100, and those speed marks on the number are lived up to. He was blue for a long time at the end of last year, just turned red, I think it was, for the Christmas meetings. But certainly stock car racing needs its characters, and watch out for that man going through the field, number 100, Harry Smith. Seems like that surname Smith just seems to breed speed. Anyway, Harry Smith lines up then in this race. Heat number 3, by the way, John Wright, who pulled out before Heat 2 started in 1:28, has been allowed to go in this one, so you'll be able to see the blue top 1:28. Star of the April cover, I think it was, of Stock Car magazine. Or was it May? Anyway, the car's coming through the yellow tops. 536, Bob Baker, the highest numbered Formula One driver, by the way. That's an absolutely useless piece of information. That's as far as the numbers go at the moment, 536. Ian Higgins there, he's got that name, Captain Chaos, still on the side of the car in the Wayman-built car, but he's winning enough races now to make that name into a bit of a lie. So Ian Higgins, alongside Jeff Nichols here. Ian almost all the way through from yellow to red on the first gradings of the season. Bert Finnegan at the back, the 83 points champion, lost that title last year a fair way down the order. Sporting a wing this season after resisting the temptation all through 84. Bert Finnegan indeed went well in the last meeting here at Crewe. He had third in this heat and second in the final behind Frankie Wainman. Just moving up on the outside of Finnegan is John Lund in number 53. John, one of the top drivers at the moment, second in the current points championship. He won the Grand National last time here at Crewe. Neil Porcorny up the front, always a one to stumble over. Neil Porcorny in car 74, that name. Anyway, 143 on the outside of him, and that is the car of Hodgson. Not too sure of his first name, I'll read that off the car. And indeed, it's 149. They're going to have to go for another rolling lap, and so now we know the number. It's John Layton, 149. Starter not happy with that. They have to go around for another rolling lap, and that's a good way here at Crewe. Certainly a vastly different proposition to some of the tighter tarmac ovals, such as Hartlepool and Aycliffe. From one extreme to the other. I can tell you that racing from Aycliffe's coming up fairly soon here on Screen Sport. Indeed, it could possibly be even as soon as next week. So the green hidden behind the yellow as the cars start off once more. Neil Porcorny in 74 being marshalled into position. His white top colleague on the outside, 149, John Layton, taking up his place. They are the only two white tops out in this one. We've got something like 6 yellows behind, and then an equal number of blues, no, 7 blues in fact, with John Wright out there. 2 stars, 2 superstars, 4 superstars in fact. So the green finally drops and the race is underway. Yellows coming through, 180, snaking slightly going into the turn. That was the car of Glenn Lord. Blues now in vision. And on down to the reds. In the meantime, though, Porcorny has got already a 30-yard lead over the second place car, who's just spun out on the turn. That was the car of John Layton, 149. So there's Porcorny, white top currently. As you see, he's got yellow ambitions. Indeed was yellow until the current grading period when he was downgraded due to lack of points. Second place, looking across the track, looks to be number 52. 128 getting into problems. Jeff Nichols also spinning out on the turn. Porcorny closing in on his fellow white top John Layton. And so Porcorny heading into the turn. Looks a little vulnerable, doesn't seem to be stamping his authority as much as he might hope. And indeed it's Howarth in 52 in second place. Craig Howarth to be precise, as the Reds build the speed up going into the turn. In the meantime, that's the view on the opposite side of the track. Neil Porcorny in 74. Coming in now, Jeff Nichols in 215. The back marker, Porcorny getting himself into trouble, almost holding back there. Didn't seem to have the confidence. Harry Smith bouncing his way through the turns. He's already passed Finnegan. Ray Tilsley just behind, 85 alongside John Lund. In the meantime, 149 just coming in off the centre green. Finnegan can't get close enough to put the bumper in on Smith. In case of a bite of bitten there, I think. Smith sending the back end round around the turn. Finnegan just behind, Lund behind him. And just up in front of those. In fact, the leading red top at the moment is Joe Jopling in 4.52. Jeff Nichols just about to be the next victim of Neil Picorni. And 4.11 Phil Wheelson's tangled with 2-on-3, and Wally Pissam tangling with Neil Picorni. So there's real problems in that turn now. That sends their number 52 through into first place, Craig Howarth. So Wheelson parked in the middle of the wreckage there. Wally Pissam's car on the outside, 4.34. He's just about getting back into the race. In the meantime, Finnegan and Smith still having their own private battle down the field. And in fact, they're not too far off the race lead. There's something inside the half lap now. And in the meantime, Smith is putting in the challenge on Joe Jopling. There's the leader, 52, Craig Howarth. Howarth first, going in on Jeff Nichols now. It was the yellow in second. Ian Higgins is third in 29. Picorni, I'm not too sure if he lost the complete lap or whether he recovered for fourth place. There's the first place. Second place going through, the yellow top car, 182, and that car is the car of Mike Cheatham. In the meantime, Harry Smith getting involved in a metal sandwich there with Bert Finnegan behind and Wally Pissam in front. .52 Howarth from 182 with Ian Higgins challenging Cheatham now for second place, putting the bumper in all the time. There it goes again, Howarth, or rather 182 almost stopping, and Higgins is through on the inside of Cheatham for second place, just getting back onto the track after the wheels were on the infield. Cheatham looking to retaliate, but 52 Howarth does look vulnerable now with Higgins closing in. When we covered Skegness right back at the start of the season, they ran a special whites and yellows races, and yellows race rather, and Higgins was a winner in that. Finnegan and Smith still battling it out down the order. Finnegan looking to try and put the bumper in on Smith, but they're gradually going through the field in that twosome. Higgins first, second is Cheatham, third is Howarth, fourth it appears to be John Wright. And as those blues went into the turn, it's not too far back. Ian Higgins through now. Higgins in first place, number 29. Jeff Nichols has seen off two leaders already trying to lap him, Neil Picorni and also Craig Howarth. Now can Ian Higgins do it, or will he fall victim? Higgins looking for the inside line, and he's found a way through. 182 still in second, Mike Cheatham. Third place Craig Howarth, fourth now is Harry Smith, fifth Bert Finnegan. So Higgins knows he's got a couple of star drivers not too far behind, not star drivers only, superstar drivers as well. Harry Smith, a star, but that 55 car driven very much by a superstar. Looks like the cameraman got caught by a lump of shale there. Anyway, Ian Higgins leads in car 29. Higgins first, and second place would appear still to be Mike Cheatham in 182. Third place Harry Smith, fourth is Bert Finnegan, and fifth is car number 34, Mal Brown. So coming down to the closing stages of this Heat 3 of the Formula 1 stock cars here at Crewe Stadium. Finnegan and Smith, the two red tops lurking behind that leading pair of cars. You can see the gap as they come into the turn. Finnegan hitting a patch there, just spinning in slightly. Cheatham in their sights now, the second place man in 182. Ian Higgins something like 30 yards in front of Harry Smith. And Smith looking for Cheatham now. There's 182, the yellow top second place man coming under the pressure from Harry Smith. 1 lap to go now, just 1 lap left for Harry Smith to come all the way through. He's past Cheatham. Finnegan giving 182 a rough ride as well. John Lund is just behind him, 53, and then Mal Brown in 34. In the meantime, there's the race leader, number 29 in Higgins, coming off the final turn. Higgins is going to hold off the challenge, and once more the Reds are headed by one of the men of the lower order. Ian Higgins picking up a vital win there in Heat 3, picking up some very useful World Championship points. Second place, number 100, Harry Smith. Third place was 55, Bert Finnegan. So there was nothing the 155 cars could do there. Ian Higgins holding on beautifully there for the race win in Heat 3. Third place, or went to Finnegan. Fourth place to John Lund in 53. Then came Mal Brown in 34. Mike Cheatham in 182. That's as far as I'm prepared to commit myself at the moment. We'll wait for the official verdict after the Graham Blundell lesson in Heat 2. It could change, of course. But Harry Smith driving a fine race there, but couldn't quite get through to catch that number 29 car. Ian Higgins. Well, a lot of work being put in there on the fence. In the meantime, let's take a look at the official result of Heat 3. First, Ian Higgins, 29. Second, Harry Smith. Third, Bert Finnegan in 55. John Lund just behind him in 53, so a good bunch of cars there just behind Ian Higgins. Mal Brown, 34, getting a good 5th place. Mike Cheatham in 6th. Joe Jopling, 7th. Mike Greenwood just making a cut in 8th place in 330. And the 2 men missing out in 9th and 10th. 536, Dave Cusack. And number 10, or 10th place rather, was number 85, Ray Tildesley. So the red top failing to qualify. We're going to have a couple of interesting cars in the consolation at this rate. In the meantime, the work on the fence continues.